My beloved child, I want you to listen carefully in this very moment, for what is about to be spoken may change entirely the way you see yourself and the path you are walking. Perhaps within your heart a question has been echoing, what awaits me tomorrow? What will become of my future? And I tell you this today is the time for you to prepare, for the dawn that is coming is not merely the beginning of another day, it is the unfolding of a plan I have long ordained for your life. Do not take these words lightly, for they are not empty comfort, but an urgent call for you to take hold of the destiny that has been appointed to you. Do you know why I say these things to you? Because I have watched every step you have taken in this season. I have seen the weariness in your eyes, though outwardly you strive to appear strong. I've heard the deep sighs in the darkness of the night when no one else is awake to witness your loneliness. I have seen the moments when you wondered whether your life truly holds meaning, or if it is merely drifting along the endless current of unchanging days. My child, I want you to know this truth. Not a single moment of your existence is meaningless. Even if you feel lost within your own home, even if the atmosphere around you grows heavy, in my eyes, you have never been forgotten. Even in the times when you believe I am silent, I have only been waiting for you to open your heart so that you may receive a deeper revelation. Pay attention now. The atmosphere surrounding your life has begun to shift. The hidden corners of your dwelling sometimes make you shudder. The restless nights keep you turning, unable to find peace in sleep. You may think these are merely coincidences, the result of work pressure or inner strain. But I tell you, nothing is by chance. In the unseen realm, forces are moving, and they do not want you to step into the fullness I have promised you. Small cracks within the heart, silent compromises in the mind, these become the very doors through which the darkness slips in. You have felt the weight of it, though you cannot name it. This is the sign you are standing at the threshold of something sacred, and I want you to know tomorrow the veil shall be lifted. Do not be afraid when I speak of this. I do not reveal it to terrify you, but to prepare you. You were not born to be a victim of circumstance, but to be a victor in the spiritual battle. You were not made merely to endure, but to stand firm in the power of the one who created you. That is why I warn you before the shaking comes. You have heard the words, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 2:3-4. This is not only a comforting verse in Scripture, but a truth for you to hold on to. Even when darkness seeks to surround you, my light is sufficient to guide your steps. You must understand that what you sense in your family, in your work, or even within your own heart is not merely surface level. There are deeper layers the eye cannot see, yet your soul has already begun to perceive them. You have felt the invisible tension hanging over the dinner table. You have heard words that seemed harmless but pierced you like arrows. You have dreamed strange dreams that left you unsettled upon waking. None of these are random. They are warnings that a battle is drawing near. Yet, my child, I will not leave you to face it alone. I, myself, will step into the storm with you. What you need to do is not to run hastily to people in search of solutions. Do not place your trust first in friends in social media or in distractions that only scatter your heart further. You must return, bow down, and call upon me. Give the very first minutes of tomorrow to proclaim my name in every room. Let songs of praise rise as your weapon, for praise is not merely melody, it is a spiritual sword that severs unseen chains. When you sing, it is not only sound filling the house, but my very presence overflowing, leaving no place for the darkness to dwell. I do not speak so you may hear and move on, but so that you may act, so that you may become the one who shifts the very atmosphere of the place where you live. Remember, this tomorrow does not come bearing only challenges, but also opportunities. I am leading you to a threshold where, if you step across, you will behold a new dimension of freedom and blessing. Yes, there will be shaking, there will be conflict, and there will be moments when you may think that everything is about to collapse. Yet, my child, such collapse is not meant for destruction, but for birth. When the old things break apart, that is when a new foundation is laid. When what is unstable is swept away, that is the moment when true steadfastness is built, and you will see that what I have promised has never been lost. It has only been waiting for the appointed time to be revealed. Therefore, my child, stand firm. Receive this warning as an act of grace, for I reveal it because I love you. Do not see it as a threat, but as an invitation. Do not look upon tomorrow with anxiety, but see it as an opportunity to witness my hand at work. Remember, if God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:3-1. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are in the midst of a plan greater than yourself, and I have already prepared everything so that you will not fall. The only thing I require of you is obedience. Open your heart, take action, and trust. Then you will see that tomorrow is not a day of destruction, but the beginning of something glorious. My child, I want you to understand that this warning is not given to drive you into fear, but to open your eyes to a reality you have long overlooked. There have been small signs appearing for some time, but because of life's hurried pace, because of the weight of many concerns, you dismissed them or pushed them aside. You have felt unease in the atmosphere of your home, yet you told yourself, it must just be exhaustion. You have experienced strange dreams, but reassured yourself, it must only be an overworked mind. My dear child, nothing is random. These signals were reminders from heaven, and now I must speak plainly so that you may be prepared. I love you too much to let you step into tomorrow naively thinking everything remains the same as before. Tomorrow will not be like today, and it is your spiritual preparation that will determine whether you face it as a victim or as a warrior. You must remember, not every battle is fought in the visible realm. There are struggles no one sees, yet they leave a deeper mark than any conflict waged outside. It is these hidden battles that shake your soul. The whispers of doubt, the unseen arrows of anxiety, the relentless flood of negative thoughts. These are not merely natural states of mind, but strategies of the enemy who seeks to rob you of faith. He cannot take away what I have placed within you unless you surrender it yourself. He cannot destroy your family unless you allow him to. That is why I have come to remind you, rise up, stand firm, and lay hold of the power I have given you. You are not as weak as you think, for your true strength does not rest in your own ability, but in my presence within you. Reflect for a moment. How many times in the past did you believe you would collapse only to be lifted again? How many times did doors slam shut before your eyes, yet another way unexpectedly opened? Do you think these were mere coincidences? No. My child, they were signs that I have always intervened, and I will continue to do so as long as you seek me. I watch over every step you take, even when you are too weary to pray. I hear you even when your voice is but a whisper in your thoughts. I see your tears even when you try to hide them behind a smile. Therefore, when I tell you that tomorrow will bring shaking, believe also that it will be the day I reveal my power more clearly. A threshold stands before you, and you will not cross it alone. The most important truth you must inscribe on your heart today is this: do not face tomorrow in the flesh, but in the spirit. If you hastily look for help from people, you will receive only fleeting counsel. If you search for peace in worldly pleasures, they will only draw you deeper into emptiness. But if you anchor your heart in prayer, if you lift up a song of praise, even when your lips tremble, if you proclaim my word even before your circumstances shift, you will witness transformation in the unseen realm. Invisible chains will break. Heavy burdens will dissolve. Shadows that lurk will be driven away. For where light is present, darkness cannot remain. And where my name is lifted up, no force can prevail against it. My child, I also want you to pay attention to this. The shaking does not only expose what the enemy is doing, but it also reveals what you must let go of. There are things you have held on to for so long: unforgiven bitterness, unhealthy relationships, possessions that may seem harmless, yet carry defiled energy. Tomorrow, when the doors in the spiritual realm are shaken, these things will be brought to light. Do not cling to them any longer. Be ready to release them. For only when you cleanse the space within can I fill it with true peace. Do not fear loss, for whatever you release in me will be replaced with blessings far greater. Do not regret what I call you to give up, for if it truly belonged to you, I would not have asked you to part from it. You must understand that when you obey my voice and walk in obedience, your family too will partake in the blessing. Yes, you are not fighting for yourself alone. You are fighting for the next generation, for your loved ones, for souls you have not even met. When you rise up in prayer, the chains binding others are also broken. When you proclaim my word in your home, not only are you shielded, but those around you are covered as well. The reach of obedience always extends far beyond what you can imagine. Therefore, receive this warning not only as a responsibility for yourself, but as an opportunity to rewrite the spiritual legacy for your entire family. My child, I know you may feel afraid. I know your heart may tremble when you hear me speak of what is to come. But let me make it clear, fear is not your portion. I have not given you a spirit of timidity, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Tomorrow, when the door is opened, step through it with the posture of a child, not of a stranger. Remember that you are sealed with everlasting love. You do not need to prove yourself, nor chase after the recognition of others. You only need to walk in the truth that I am your protector, your strong fortress, the rock that cannot be moved. When you stand on that foundation, no storm can ever overthrow you. My child, I want you to step into tomorrow with a mindset completely different from what you have carried before. You are no longer one pressed against the wall, but one who has been placed in the sacred position of choice. Every decision you make in this moment will be like seeds sown into the soil. The seeds sown in faith, in obedience, and in loyalty will rise into trees of life, bringing shade and sweet fruit to many. On the other hand, if you allow fear and confusion to lead you, those seeds will wither and bear no fruit. Therefore, my child, be careful with every thought, every word, every action, for they are the foundation of what you are about to step into. This is the time for you to stand firm, not only for yourself, but also for your loved ones who are looking to you as a pillar of strength. Picture this: when a small candle is lit in the darkness, the entire room is instantly transformed. It does not take much light. Even a single flame is enough to drive away the gloom. You are that candle. Your very presence in the home, when you call upon my name, when you keep your heart pure, when you refuse compromise, changes the atmosphere around you. Do not underestimate the power of a sincere prayer. You may think you are weak, that you have little influence, that your voice carries no weight. Yet in the spiritual realm, the cry of one righteous soul has the power to move heaven itself. Remember the words of Scripture: the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective, James 5:1-6. When you open your mouth, all of heaven will respond. When you proclaim my name, unseen walls will begin to crack. When you lift up a song of praise, chains that seemed unbreakable will shatter. You must also remember that preparation does not stop at a few prayers, but extends into the way you shape your daily attitude. When you face your family members, be mindful of how you respond. The enemy will try in every way to stir up anger, to sow misunderstanding, to create arguments that seem without cause. Do not fall into that trap. When there is shouting, answer with calmness. When there is division, plant words of reconciliation. When there is tension, bring gentleness. Do not forget, you are not fighting against your loved ones, but against unseen forces seeking to take advantage of them. If you guard your inner peace, you will become like cool water that quenches the flames of anger. It is your calm response that will drive the enemy away. My child, I know that entering into this preparation is not always easy. You may feel you lack strength, you lack patience, you lack resolve, but I tell you this: you do not need to be enough on your own. Fullness will come from me. Let me be your strength when you are weary. Let me be your faith when you are shaken. Let me be your wisdom when you are confused. You are not called to carry this burden alone. You only need to lean on me, to walk one step at a time, and to trust that I will complete the work I have begun. Your strength does not lie in how much you can control, but in how much you surrender. When you rest in my arms, you will find peace that surpasses all understanding. And I also tell you this: tomorrow will not only be a challenge, but a test of faith. There will be things that happen which leave you unsettled. There will be situations that appear suddenly and shake you. But it is in those very moments that your faithfulness will be proven. I do not expect you to be perfect. I only desire that you cling to me. If you fall, rise immediately. If you are weak, call on me at once. If you are confused, Let my words become the lamp to your path. Do not wait until everything is clear before you believe. True faith is walking while the way is still dim, but knowing for certain that I am right beside you. And my child, I promise that I will never leave you, nor ever abandon you. Prepare your home as a place of worship. Remove whatever I point out that does not belong to you. Do not delay when I call you to cleanse. Let every room in your house be covered with my presence. When you play songs of praise, when you read my words aloud, when you pray for each member of your family, your home will become a spiritual fortress that the enemy cannot penetrate. That is the difference between an ordinary house and a dwelling filled with sacred presence. Do not take this preparation lightly, for it is the foundation that will keep you standing firm in the storm. My child, when I say that tomorrow is a turning point, I do not exaggerate. A door is opening, and you will be the one to decide with what heart you step through it. If you choose to believe, if you choose to obey, if you choose to keep your heart upright, then that door will lead you into a new season filled with blessings. But if you hesitate, if you allow fear to take control, then you will miss the opportunity. I do not force, but I call. I do not bind, but I invite. The choice rests in your hands, yet its consequences will ripple through your lineage. Therefore, choose wisely, choose life, choose light, choose me. As you step into tomorrow, remember this: light is always stronger than darkness. Whatever the enemy may do, he cannot overcome my power. However fierce the storm may be, you will remain under my covering. Even if you lose, you will not be abandoned. Even if the ground shakes, the foundation I have placed within you will not be moved. I have gone before you, and I will be behind you. I am the one who holds you in my mighty hand. And once you know this with certainty, nothing will terrify you. You will walk in peace even while the world trembles. You will smile even in the face of trial. You will stand firm because you know to whom you belong. My child, when I speak to you of the shaking that comes tomorrow, my purpose is not only to warn you so you may prepare, but also to show you that this is the moment for you to mature in faith. In recent days, you have prayed many times for peace, many times wishing for everything around you to return to calm. But true peace is not the absence of trials, it is my presence in the midst of them. You have grown accustomed to seeking stability from the outside, but now I call you to learn to walk in the peace within peace that no one can take away, no circumstance can disturb, and no power of darkness can touch. Tomorrow when the storm rises, I do not promise it will vanish in an instant, but I promise you will not be overwhelmed. It is in the very midst of the tempest that you will see my hand lifting and shielding you. Remember the journey of Israel when they left Egypt. They once stood before the Red Sea in front of them, stretched the vast ocean behind them, pressed the pursuing enemy. Can you imagine their fear? Every way of escape was shut, and human strength had no answer. But in that very moment I displayed my power, the waters parted, and a dry path appeared right where no way seemed possible. My child, I tell you this so that you may know when everything around you appears blocked, it is then that I make a miraculous way. The shaking you will face is not meant to drown you, but to open a new path, and you will only see it when you place your trust entirely in me instead of leaning on your own calculations. I have often asked myself, why must I face so many trials? Why can't things be simpler? My child, it is within trials that your strength is forged. Just as iron must pass through fire to become unbreakable, so must your soul go through pressure to become strong. Do not think that I abandon you in the flames, for I am always there controlling the heat, knowing precisely when you are ready to emerge. I will not let the fire consume you, but I will let it refine you into gold. If you look at trials only through the eyes of the flesh, you will see destruction. But if you look through spiritual eyes, you will see opportunity, the place where my glory is revealed. Tomorrow you will witness this, and once you have passed through, you will never be the same again. My child, I want you to learn a principle. Do not let the enemy write the story of your life. He will try to sow lies into your heart, making you believe you are not enough, that you will fail, that you are unworthy. He will even use the ones you love to confuse you, to make you feel betrayed. But do not let those lies take hold of your mind. You already have my word in your hands. That word is the double-edged sword, sharp and precise, able to divide truth from falsehood, light from darkness. When you open your mouth and declare it, the atmosphere will shift. When you remind the world of the promises I have spoken, the darkness will retreat. Do not let circumstances determine your tone. You must decide the tone of the circumstances. Let faith define your reality rather than letting reality define your faith. Focus on one thing, my presence. Seek me first instead of chasing temporary solutions. When you rise in the morning, before reaching for your phone, reach for my word. Before you let worry consume you about work, let your heart rest in prayer. When you enter your home, let that place be filled with praise. These daily choices build a fortress that cannot be shaken. And when tomorrow comes, you will not be swept away by chaos because you have already laid down a solid foundation. My child, you cannot control everything, but you can decide where you place your heart. Place it in my hands and you will see the difference. And remember this, my child, what happens to you does not affect only you, but many others as well. You may think you are small, that your actions are insignificant. But you do not know every time you pray, a spiritual door is opened for your family. Every time you forgive, an invisible chain is broken. Every time you choose love over anger, a seed of peace is planted. You may not see the result immediately, but in the unseen realm, change is already unfolding. And one day all of it will come together into a harvest of blessing. That is why I call you not to give up. You are not fighting only for yourself, but for your lineage, for those who have never known me, but who will be saved through your intercession. My child, walk in this assurance tomorrow. When the shaking comes, you will not be overthrown. You may see the walls of your house tremble. You may hear the wind howl at the door, but do not be afraid. Remember that I am your stronghold, your secure refuge. Remember that I have set my angels to guard your household. Remember that I have sealed your door with the blood of the Lamb. What the enemy intends will not prevail. What he seeks to steal, he will not be able to keep. You will not lose as much as you fear, for I am the restorer. You will not be broken as you dread, for I am the healer. You will not be swallowed up, for I am the deliverer. Hold fast to this as your anchor, and you will stand firm in the midst of the storm. My child, I want you to grasp a principle that many have overlooked. Prayer is not merely a religious act, it is the breath of the soul. Without prayer, your soul will gradually dry up like land left without water until it cracks and becomes barren. But when you pray, you open a direct flow to the source of life, and that stream renews every corner of your heart. Do not think that your prayer must be eloquent, lengthy, or impressive in the eyes of men to have value. I do not seek polished words, I seek a sincere heart. A simple cry from the depths of truth is far more powerful than 1,000 hollow phrases. When you cry out, Lord, save me, in that very moment heaven trembles and I answer. Remember this well, prayer is not a ritual, it is life itself. You must also understand that in the days to come, your praise will become a mighty weapon. The enemy despises praise, for it knows that when you lift your voice in worship to me, my power is made manifest. He wants you to grumble, to complain, to drown in negativity. But when you choose to sing even through tears, you pierce the thick darkness. The sound of praise rises like the trumpet of war, shaking the unseen realm, breaking the invisible chains that seek to hold you down. You will discover that when your lips offer songs of devotion, the heavy atmosphere in your home will disperse. Even if circumstances remain unchanged, your heart will be lighter and your mind set free. This is the power of praise. It does not merely change your mood, it transforms reality itself. But my child, prayer and praise become most complete when they are bound together with obedience. Do not think that praying and singing alone are enough while your heart still refuses to let go of what I am calling you to surrender. Obedience is the key that unlocks the door to protection and blessing. There are things I have already pointed out to you, relationships that do not bring life, habits that slowly wear down your soul, objects in your house that do not belong to the light. You know them, yet you hesitate. My child, hesitation is the very gap through which darkness clings. When I command you to cleanse, do it at once. When I urge you to forgive, forgive at once, even when your feelings resist. When I call you to give, give at once, even if your purse seems empty. Immediate obedience is the mark of true faith. And when you obey, the spiritual door will swing wide open, pouring down blessings you have never imagined. My child, I know you may ask yourself, but how can I stand firm when the storm is so great? How can I keep my heart when everything is against me? Remember, you are not alone in this battle. I have set angels around you. I have covered your family with mercy. I have promised that no weapon formed against you will succeed. Your ability to stand does not rest on your own strength, but on the foundation I have laid. All you need to do is cling tightly to me, and I will take care of the rest. Do not let your mind be swept away by negative images. Do not let harsh words cause you to lose heart. Do not let old memories of failure hold you back. Lift your eyes upward where your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. When your gaze is fixed on me, the storm outside will no longer throw you into panic. Look to the lives of those who have gone before you. Some have endured terrible trials, yet by keeping their faith they became witnesses to thousands, even tens of thousands of others. Do you think they were strong by themselves? No, their strength came from clinging to my promises. It was when they knelt in prayer that they stood firm before kings and enemies. It was when they chose to praise me in the dungeon that chains broke and prison doors swung open. You can be the same, my child. The difference is not in the circumstance, but in how you respond. Circumstances may be dark, but if your heart is full of light, darkness cannot prevail. Circumstances may feel suffocating, but if you open your mouth in praise, the breath of life will fill you. Circumstances may threaten, but if you obey me, my mighty arm will lift you above them all. And I want you to remember this: the firmness of your faith today will become a legacy for the generations to come. When you choose to pray, you are sowing seeds of faith for your children. When you choose to praise, you are planting seeds of hope for those around you. When you choose to obey, you are opening the door of blessing for your entire lineage. Do not underestimate your daily choices, for they not only affect the present, but also paint the future. I have seen many generations saved simply because one person in the family stood firm in faith. You could be that person. You could be the beginning of a blessed line. You could be the torch that shines in the darkness. Believe this: when you remain faithful, you are not only transforming yourself, but rewriting the history of your family. My child, continue to stand firm no matter how fierce the shaking may be. Do not think you need to be perfect. You only need to endure. Do not think you must know everything. You only need to believe. Do not think you must be strong at all times. You only need to hold on to me, and when you do, you will see that in your weakness my strength is revealed. You will become a living testimony that darkness never triumphs over light, that trials never overcome faith, that failure never defeats love. That is why I call you to prepare, for what is coming is not meant to bury you, but to lift you up. You will pass through, and you will pass through in glory. My child, I want you to understand that what you are going through is not random, nor is it the accident of blind fate. Behind all the shaking, there is a divine plan at work. You were not created to live a dull life tossed about by storms. You were made to stand tall, to walk in the power of your calling. So do not let your heart be swayed by the noise around you. Do not let your eyes be clouded by the chaos the enemy tries to magnify. You must fix your focus on what is unchanging: my promise, my presence, and my love for you. When everything shakes, hold fast to these three as an anchor that keeps you from being swept away. Let me show you a greater picture. What you now see as trials are but fragments of a masterpiece I am weaving. When a craftsman weaves a tapestry, the onlooker only sees tangled threads, but the artisan knows that when it is finished, it will be a work of art. So it is with your life. In this moment, you may see only scattered fragments, a pain here, a loss there, a wound unhealed in another corner. But I see the whole. I see how every piece will connect, how every tear will become a seed of joy, how every failure will lay the foundation for victory. Therefore, my child, learn to trust me, even when you do not understand. Trust is not about seeing everything. It is about placing your heart fully in the one who sees it all. My child, I know there are moments when you think I have prayed, Many times I have praised without ceasing. I have obeyed with all my strength, yet why do I still feel shaken? Do not lose heart, my dear one. Sometimes the answer does not come immediately, for I am training your patience. Sometimes the blessing does not yet appear because the foundation within you must first be strengthened. If you were blessed too soon before you were ready, that very blessing could become a burden. I love you, so I am not in a hurry. I work according to my perfect timing, and when that moment arrives, you will see that every day of waiting was worth it. Do not mistake my silence for absence. Even in silence I am at work. Even in the darkness I am preparing the way. Even in stillness I am arranging a great revelation. Remember, my child, that every step of faithfulness carries value. You may not see results right away, but in the spiritual realm, every prayer, every tear, every moment you choose, forgiveness over resentment is recorded. Not a single sacrifice of yours is in vain. All that you do in obedience will bear fruit in its proper season. You need only to remain steadfast. Do not compare your journey with another's. Do not look at their outward success and then question your own worth. You do not know the price they have paid, nor the struggles they may be hiding. Remember that you have your own path measured and prepared specifically for you. That path may be thorny at times, but it is also filled with glory. That path may bring trials, but it also carries miracles. You need only to keep walking, and you will reach the place I have promised. My child, let me encourage you with a truth. Even the smallest light is enough to drive away the thickest darkness. You do not need to do something great all at once. You need only to remain faithful in the small things. When you pray for a friend in pain, that is light. When you speak a word of encouragement to a weary loved one, that is light. When you refuse a small compromise, that too is light. Gradually, these small lights will gather into a blazing torch that the enemy cannot withstand. Do not think daily faithfulness is insignificant. It is the foundation for endurance. It is the seed of great things. It is the voice that makes heaven rejoice and causes hell to tremble. My child, I call you to look at tomorrow not with eyes of anxiety, but with eyes of expectation. When you wake up and see signs of shaking, do not think that it is the end. Think of it as the sound of the victory drum resounding. Every change, no matter how violent, is but a stepping stone for me to reveal my glory. Let faith define your reality, rather than letting reality define your faith. When you walk with expectation, you will realize that every trial becomes an opportunity. Every loss opens the door to a new beginning. Every shadow becomes the backdrop for light to shine forth. And my child, your very life will become the testimony that my love and my power are greater than any attack. My child, prepare your heart with this assurance: I did not come only to save you once, but to walk with you every day. I am not only present when you cry out, but I am always there even when you do not feel me. I do not only deliver you from the enemy, but I lead you into the promised land. I do not only wipe away your tears, but I turn them into precious pearls that will bear witness to others. You are not alone on this journey. You have me, you have angels surrounding you, and you have an entire community of believers who will stand with you in prayer. You are never alone, and you will never be forsaken. Therefore, my child, stand firm. Tomorrow may bring shaking, but it will also bring revelation. Tomorrow may be filled with trials, but it will also be filled with miracles. Tomorrow may cause many to tremble, but it will cause you to stand stronger than ever before. Enter it not with fear, but with faith, not with doubt, but with certainty, not with empty hands, but with the weapons of prayer, praise, and obedience. And when you do so, you will see that the enemy has no chance. You will see that I never break my promises. You will see that it is in the very storm itself that my glory shines the brightest. My child, when you have learned how to stand firm in the midst of shaking, I want to take you further into the depths of absolute trust. Many can endure for a moment but lose faith when the storm lingers. Many can hold steady for a day but falter when the darkness stretches over many nights. Yet I want you to learn something. Essential trust is not a short-lived reaction, but the continual rhythm of life itself. It is not just a cry in a moment of emotion, but a repeated choice, even when no feeling lifts you. Trust is the step you take, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, grounded in the assurance that I am leading, even when you cannot yet see the road ahead. You have lived through days when everything seemed to collapse at once. You have felt abandoned, forgotten in the crowd. You have asked, Lord, do you truly hear me? Do you see me, my child? I have heard, I have seen, and I have never left you. I hear not only the words you speak aloud, but also the thoughts you have not dared to voice. I see not only your tears, but the hidden pains you bury deep inside. That is why I call you to trust me even in silence. Do not measure my presence by fleeting feelings. Feelings may shift like the sea, but my love never changes. Do not look for me only in great miracles. Learn to recognize me in the smallest things. An unexpected word of encouragement, a moment of peace in the chaos, a faint glimmer of light in the darkness. These are the signs that I am still here, still guiding you. My child, I know that in order to trust you, must learn to let go. Letting go does not mean giving up responsibility, but ceasing to struggle for control over what lies beyond your reach. Many times you have tried to carry the weight of the whole world on your shoulders, only to end in exhaustion and disappointment. But I did not create you to bear every burden. I created you to walk with me, to hand over to me what exceeds your strength. Remember my words. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 1:1-2-8. When you place your burdens in my hands, you are not weak, you are wise. When you choose trust instead of worry, you are not passive, you are moving in spiritual strength. Believe that I have a plan, and that plan is always good no matter how incomprehensible the present may seem. Imagine yourself as a child sitting in a boat, adrift in the vast ocean. If you only look at the waves, you will feel afraid. If you only stare into the darkness, you will fall into despair. But if you fix your gaze upon my hand holding yours, you will discover peace. Trust is choosing to look at me instead of the storm. Trust is daring to step out of the boat as Peter did, knowing that as long as your eyes remain fixed on me, you will not sink. You cannot control the wind, nor can you stop the waves, but you can decide where to set your vision. And my child, wherever you set your gaze, that will determine where you will go. My child, I want you to know that trust is not a feeling, it is a choice. There will be days when your heart resists prayer, yet when you bow your knees, that is trust. There will be times when no results appear, yet when you remain patient in waiting, that is trust. There will be moments when loneliness surrounds you, yet when you continue to confess that I am here, that is trust. Every time you choose faith over doubt, you are building a fortress in your spirit. Every time you choose steadfastness over surrender, you are driving the roots of faith deeper into the soil. And when storms rage, that tree of faith will not be uprooted, for its roots cling firmly to the living water. Remember, my child, trust will not exempt you from every trial, but it will transform the way you face them. When you trust, you no longer see trials as enemies, but as opportunities to grow. When you trust, you no longer tremble at the shaking, but recognize it as the beginning of a new season. When you trust, you no longer allow circumstances to define you, but you allow me to define you. You no longer ask, why is this happening to me, but instead can say, Lord, what do you want to teach me through this? This is a fundamental shift in the way of life. This is a transformation from within, turning you into a living testimony for many who are lost. My child, begin today. When you wake up, say, Lord, I trust you will guide me through this day. When you face the unexpected whisper, I believe you are in control of all things. When you go to sleep, offer this prayer. Thank you for being with me, even when I did not recognize it. These small words will shape your heart and help you build the habit of trust. Do not wait for the storms of life to learn how to trust. Practice it every day in the smallest of things, so that when the real storms come, you will already be prepared to stand firm. My child, I do not promise that the journey will always be easy, but I do promise that the journey will always hold meaning. I do not promise that you will be spared from the storms, but I do promise that you will never walk alone. I do not promise that everything will unfold according to your own will, but I do promise that all things will work together for your good, for you have been called according to my purpose. Hold this promise in your heart, and you will find peace, regardless of circumstances. Trust, my child, because trust is the key that opens every door I have prepared for you. And once you hold this key, no power can shut the door that I have opened. My child, I want you to understand that true trust cannot be measured in moments of ease, but is proven in long days of trial. Trust is not a single step taken once and then abandoned. It is a continuous journey, like a river that never ceases to flow. When you begin to trust, that is only the starting point. But when you remain steadfast through the many seasons of life, through seasons of lack and seasons of abundance, through seasons of darkness and seasons of light, that is the evidence of true faithfulness. Do not think your faith is weak simply because it is tested again and again. Those very trials are the ones making it strong. A tree that never faces the wind will never send its roots deep. A soul untested will never grasp the power of perseverance. My child, I know there have been many times when you have grown weary of waiting patiently. You prayed, yet the answers seemed slow to come. You searched, yet the doors seemed not to open. You walked forward, yet the path remained uncertain. And within your heart arose the question, Lord, where are you? Do you truly hear me? My beloved, I hear every whisper of your soul. I see each tear that falls in the night. I know the hidden longings of your heart. And I tell you this, do not mistake delay for denial. I have never ignored you. Every delay carries a purpose. At times it is to prepare your heart. At times it is to arrange the circumstances around you. At times it is to strengthen you so that you can hold on to the blessing that is coming. If you were to receive it before you were ready, it might become a burden rather than a gift. But when you are fully prepared, that blessing will be a lasting joy. My child, I want you to see waiting not as a burden but as a process of training. Like an athlete in training, every drop of sweat shed is never wasted. Each time you choose patience, your soul is being refined. Each time you choose hope instead of despair, your faith is being lifted higher. Each time you choose to keep praying rather than give up, you are laying a firm foundation. Do not despise the small steps. It is those very small steps that lead to great leaps. It is those quiet choices that open glorious doors. And when you look back, you will realize that not a single moment of waiting was meaningless. Remember, my child, there is a vast difference between merely surviving and living in victory. To survive is simply to get through the day enduring until the storm passes. But to live in victory is to lift your head high in the very midst of the storm, knowing you are sheltered by the Almighty hand. I have not called you only to survive, I have called you to live in triumph. That means you do not merely wait for things to change, but you change your attitude in the present. You do not sit in anxiety, but you rise in faith. You do not only guard your own heart, but you become a source of encouragement to those around you. When you do this, you are no longer a victim, you are a warrior. You no longer simply endure, you make an impact. My child, I want you to learn another important truth. Do not let the enemy's lies define your identity. It will whisper that you are not enough, that you are nothing more than your past failures, that you are unworthy of blessing. But I tell you this, your identity is not found in mistakes nor in wounds. Your identity is defined by my love. You are chosen, you are beloved, you are a child of the Creator. Even when you stumble, this truth does not change. Even when you are weak, I still call you strong. Even when the world rejects you, I still receive you. Therefore cast away every lie with my truth. Declare each day, I am a child of God. I am loved. I am protected. When you do this, darkness will lose its foothold in your mind. My child, perseverance is not only about guarding your own heart, it is also about sowing influence for the next generation. The young ones in your family are watching how you respond. The weak are looking to you for encouragement. When you stand firm, you are teaching them a living lesson in faith. They may not hear every word you say, but they will see how you live. And the way you live will touch them more powerfully than any sermon. Do not think your faithfulness holds value only for yourself. It is writing a story that many others will read, and through it they will find hope. My child, I urge you to make perseverance your way of life. Do not wait until trials come to begin enduring. Practice it each day. When you feel like giving up, remember why you started. When you feel weak, call upon my strength. When you feel discouraged, look to the promises already given. Each time you choose to continue, you are driving the roots of faith deeper. And when the roots are deep enough, no storm will ever be able to uproot you. You will not only stand firm for today, but for the days yet to come. My child, walk with the assurance that I am completing my work in you. Do not be hasty. Do not be afraid. Trust that every moment, however small, contributes to a greater picture. Your perseverance will yield results beyond imagination, and one day you will look back with tears of joy streaming down your face as you see every drop of sorrow, every sacrifice, every moment of waiting woven into glory. Continue on, my child. Do not give up. For what I have begun I will surely bring to completion, and the reward prepared for you will be so great that you will not be able to measure it. My child, when I call you to walk in trust and perseverance, I do not simply desire for you to survive the trials. You are meant to be transformed entirely from within. Every shaking that occurs is not meant to destroy, but to shape you into a stronger vessel. How many times have you felt on the verge of collapse? Yet in those very moments of weakness, my strength is revealed most clearly. You think weakness makes you less valuable, but it is precisely there that I sow strength. You believe waiting diminishes you, yet it is what makes you steadfast. You assume wounds will leave you forever broken, but I use those very scars to write a story of redemption. Do not look upon yourself as a failure. See yourself as a masterpiece still being perfected by my hand. Remember, every trial you are enduring carries a value far beyond what you can perceive. Each time you choose faith over doubt, you open the door for light to enter. Each time you choose to stand firm instead of giving up, you are laying a foundation that cannot be shaken. Each time you choose hope over despair, you are planting seeds for an abundant harvest. What you do today may seem small in the eyes of others, but in the unseen realm it resounds with power. A quiet prayer, a silent act of forgiveness, a faithful step taken in hardship, all are recorded and all will bear fruit. My child, never despise what is small, for from the small I create what is great. My child, think of a seed. When it is sown into the soil, no one sees it. It lies hidden, buried in darkness, pressed down under the weight of the earth. Many would assume it has died. But in truth, that is when life begins to stir. One day the tender shoot pierces through the hard ground, stretches toward the light, and gradually grows into a strong tree. So it is with your life. You may feel now as though you are buried in darkness under pressure from every side. But my child, this is not the end. This is only the season of germination. The day will come when you rise strong and full of life. And then you will understand that every pressure you once bore had a purpose. It did not kill you. It prepared you to become a living testimony. My child, I do not want you to believe my words only with your mind. I want you to experience them through your very life. As you walk each day in trust, you will come to see that true peace does not come from circumstances but from within. Even when the storm outside has not ceased, your heart can still find rest. Even when no door has yet opened, your heart can still hold hope. Even when the miracle has not yet appeared, your heart can still give praise. This is the transformation I am bringing about in you, from fear into strength, from worry into steadfastness, from despair into overflowing hope. And when others look at you, they will see a light shining in the darkness, a living witness that my love and power are real. My child, I know there are times you think you are not capable of being a witness. You feel your weaknesses, your flaws, your shortcomings. But I want you to know I am not looking for perfection. I am looking for a willing heart. It is your very scars that will become the strongest testimony. It is your past failures that will turn into lessons for others. It is your tears that will become comfort for those who are suffering. Do not be ashamed of your journey. Do not hide the wounds that have healed. Use them as a testimony to bring light to those who are still lost. Let your story become a torch that guides many other souls toward hope. My child, I want you to lift your eyes wider still. Your life is not meant for yourself alone, but is part of a greater plan for many others. What I am doing in you today will not stop with you. It will ripple outward to your family, your community, even to people you have never met. As you stand firm in trust and perseverance, you are opening a path for others to follow. You are like a pioneer, clearing a way through the wilderness, so that others may walk more easily. See your faithfulness not merely as a responsibility, but as a privilege. You are called to be a witness, so that through your life many will come to know that I am real. So my child, when you look back on this entire journey, do not only see the hardships, see also the transformation. Do not only see the tears, see also the joy being prepared. Do not only see the losses, see also the new beginnings. Do not only see the darkness, see also the light that is coming. Every trial carries within it the seed of change. And as you walk in, trust that seed will spring forth into a harvest of blessing. You will see that what makes you weep today will one day make you smile. What makes you tremble today will one day make you strong. What makes you feel abandoned today will one day prove that I was never absent. My child, hold on to faith until the very end. Do not let weariness cause you to give up. Do not let negative voices make you lose heart. Do not let temporary failures make you forget the eternal promise. Stand firm, for what I have begun, I will surely complete. Keep walking, for every step you take is remembered by me. Lift up your head, for you are no longer a victim, but one who has been chosen. And when you do so, you will see that transformation is no longer theory, but reality. You will see that you have become a new person, steadfast, strong, and filled with hope. And my child, that is the great reward of your trust and perseverance. My child, as I have trained you through faith and endurance, now I desire to bring you into a higher level, the spiritual authority I have placed within you. You are not only called to stand firm for yourself, but also to become an instrument of freedom for others. Many times you may think that you are just a small, fragile, insignificant person. But my child, remember this: I have given you a weapon of immeasurable power, the word that flows from faith. Through your mouth, life can be declared, darkness can be pushed back, and unseen chains can be broken. I have placed within you the authority to speak and to see it come to pass as long as you speak according to my word. My child, remember that from ancient times I have declared death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 1:8-1. This is not a metaphor, but a spiritual reality. When you utter negative words, you give strength to darkness. When you repeat doubtful thoughts, you open a place for the enemy. But when you open your mouth to proclaim, my word, light shatters the night. When you speak peace where there is chaos, harmony is established. When you declare life where death lurks, vitality flows forth. Do not take lightly the power of your mouth. You are not merely a passive listener to my voice, but a co-laborer with me, writing the story of your life and the lives of those around you. My child, I desire that you begin to practice this power right within your own home. Do not let the silence of four walls harbor heavy energy. Let prayer and proclamation resound. As you walk through each room, call upon my name, declare peace, cast out all anxiety, and lift up songs of praise. Do not think you are speaking into empty space. In truth, every word spoken in faith is like light piercing the darkness, like thunder echoing in the unseen realm. The enemy trembles when my name is spoken, and it cannot stand where my word is proclaimed. Practice this daily, not only when storms arrive. Make it a way of life, a life that proclaims truth, that uses words to establish the atmosphere of heaven upon the earth. My child, I know you may feel hesitant, thinking you are not strong enough to confront the darkness. But remember, true strength does not come from you, but from the one who dwells within you. When you speak in my name, you are no longer an ordinary person, you are a representative of heaven's authority. I have placed my spirit within you so that you may speak words beyond your own understanding. Do not be afraid of strange manifestations. Do not tremble at opposition. For though the enemy may roar loudly, it cannot surpass the power of my name. It may pretend to be strong, but in reality, it has long been defeated, for the cross has ended its dominion. You need only stand in that truth and declare it, and the victory is sealed. My child, remember this spiritual victory is not merely avoiding attacks, but actively driving darkness out of your territory. Your home is not only meant to be safe, but it must also be sanctified to become the dwelling place of my presence. Your family is not only meant to escape division, but must also be united in love and forgiveness. Your soul is not only meant to find peace, but must be ignited with the fire of faith. That is why I teach you to use your mouth as a weapon. Do not let your words become a blade that cuts your own flesh, but let them become the sword that pushes back the enemy. Do not let your lips sow seeds of doubt, but let them plant seeds of hope. Do not let your tongue utter despair, but let it proclaim victory. My child, remember that every battle you face is not only for yourself, but also for many who stand behind you. There are family members who do not know how to pray, yet your intercession is protecting them. There are friends who do not know how to declare my promises, yet your voice is opening doors for them to step into blessing. There are those who are weak, yet when they see the steadfastness and power in your life, they will be encouraged to rise up. Therefore, consider your struggle as part of a greater mission. You do not fight alone, and you do not fight only for yourself. You are part of the spiritual army I am raising to reclaim territory that has been taken by darkness. My child, be courageous. Do not fear when the door trembles. Do not shake when the wind blows fiercely. Do not let outward appearances throw you into panic. Remember, all of that is only the surface. The spiritual reality runs much deeper. And in that reality you have been given authority to trample upon serpents and scorpions, upon every power of the enemy, and nothing shall harm you. Do not forget this truth. Hold it as a shield before every arrow. When you walk in this truth, you will see that you are no longer only defending but advancing. You are no longer only holding the line but reclaiming territory. You are no longer only protecting but expanding the influence of light. My child, this is the season in which I desire you to rise up as a warrior. You do not need the swords and spears of men nor any visible weapons, for your weapons are far greater. They are my word, prayer, praise, and obedience. These carry the power to tear down every stronghold, to destroy every deception, and to break every chain. When you lift your voice in my name, heaven will respond and hell will tremble. Do not doubt this, for you do not speak in your own strength, but in the power of the Infinite One. My child, I do not want you merely to hear about authority as some distant concept, but to apply it in every moment of life. Spiritual authority is not a theory for discussion, but a reality for practice. It is not reserved for great holy days, but must be present even in ordinary moments. When you step into your home, when you sit at the table, when you converse with your loved ones, these are opportunities to establish the atmosphere of heaven. Do not wait for some solemn occasion to activate power, for darkness does not wait. It seeks any opening at any time, and thus you must remain continually watchful. Authority is not found in events, but in a way of life. And when you grasp this, you will understand that every day is both a battlefield and an opportunity for victory. My child, begin with your home. Your house is not merely a shelter for the body, but a spiritual fortress. Walk through every room, lift your prayers, and proclaim my presence. As you do this, you are setting the seal of heaven upon every wall. Anoint the doorways and declare that the blood of the Lamb covers everyone within. Speak my word aloud so that holy sound fills the atmosphere. Do not be concerned if others do not yet understand, for the spiritual realm does not wait for human agreement. You need only be faithful to your part, and I will complete the rest. Once you remain steadfast, your home will become a place where darkness cannot enter, and anyone who steps inside will sense a peace that surpasses understanding. My child, I also want you to guard your words in daily conversation. Words not only affect those who hear them, but also shape the atmosphere around you. When you sow encouragement, you are building. When you sow blessings, you are imparting life. But when you allow bitterness, criticism, or negativity to flow, you unknowingly open the door to division. Therefore, guard your mouth. Choose to speak words that glorify my name. It is not always easy, but restraint and the choosing of right words will become powerful weapons. Remember, darkness seeks opportunity not only through actions, but also through every word. And likewise, light can spread through a single sincere word flowing from a heart full of faith. My child, I do not call you to become one who is always tense forever, afraid of the shadows, but I call you to live in watchfulness. Watchfulness does not mean panic. It means being alert to what is happening in the spiritual realm. When the atmosphere in your home suddenly grows unusually heavy, that is not a coincidence. When arguments flare up without reason, that is not merely temperament. When your sleep is continually disturbed, that is not simply fatigue. You must discern, and once you discern, rise up immediately in authority. Do not let the situation linger before you act. Do not allow chaos to become a habit. Declare my word at once, and peace will return. When you live in watchfulness, you will no longer be passive, but you will actively shape the spiritual atmosphere around you. My child, broaden your vision further. Your authority is not confined to your household, it can extend to the community. When you pray for your neighbor, you are influencing the entire neighborhood. When you intercede for the city, you are taking part in the transformation of history. You may think your voice is too small to change something so great, but my child, you are never alone. Every prayer you speak joins countless others, forming a mighty river of power that sweeps away the darkness. Remember, even one righteous intercessor is enough to preserve an entire nation. Therefore, do not belittle your cry. It does not merely echo in a small room, it reaches the throne in heaven. My child, I know there will be times when you feel weary on this journey, for spiritual battles are not fought once but continually. Yet believe this, you are not fighting alone. I have stationed angels around you. I have given my spirit within you. I have entrusted to you my word as a sharp weapon. When you feel weak, remember that an army of heaven is fighting alongside you. When you feel alone, remember that countless others are also praying, also persevering, standing with you on the same battle line. You are not alone, and you will never be forsaken. My child, let spiritual authority become the natural rhythm of your life. Do not let it be only a reaction when danger arises, but let it be your daily way of living. Just as you breathe without thinking, let prayer, declaration, praise, and obedience flow as your instinct. When these things become part of you, darkness will have no foothold, for light will reign. You will no longer fear what is to come, for you know you are fully equipped. And when you live this way, you will become a powerful beacon, not only for your family, but also for those who have never known me. My child, I want you to walk with a new courage. Do not see yourself as someone weak who is merely trying to cling on, but as a warrior fully armed. Do not wait for the enemy to strike before you respond, but take the initiative to open your mouth and declare the light. Do not fear the darkness, for it has long been defeated. Do not doubt my word, for it has never failed. Let your lips resound with words of life. Let your hands be lifted in praise. Let your heart beat in rhythm with my will. And as you do this, you will see transformation not only within your own household, but spreading to every place where your feet tread. My child, I want you to understand that the power I have placed within you is not meant only for moments of crisis, but for you to carry throughout your entire life. Many come running to me only when the shadows close in, yet when the light dawns, they return to their old ways. That is why they cannot hold on to lasting peace. But my child, I have not called you to live in such unstable cycles. I want you to be one who carries the atmosphere of heaven wherever you are present. Spiritual authority is not an emergency switch, but a continual breath. It does not merely shield you in times of trouble, but it sustains your clarity in every step you take. See it as the armor you always wear, not as something you only reach for when the battle begins. My child, do not forget that the enemy never ceases to look for a way in. It may be more patient than you think. It waits for the moment you are weary, when your discipline slackens, when you allow small compromises. It does not come in loudly at once, but slips quietly through the smallest cracks. A negative thought left unchecked, an anger not forgiven, a secret habit that quietly corrodes. Any of these can become an open door. Therefore, be watchful and steadfast. Do not dismiss the small things. Do not think defense is only needed when danger is obvious. Remember, even a mighty wall can collapse because of a single tiny crack. So guard your spirit as one who watches over a fortress. Keep your heart pure, keep your mind renewed, and let your lips continually proclaim life. My child, I also want you to know this authority does not flow from feelings but from conviction. There will be days when you do not feel strong, but that does not mean you have lost power. There will be times when you see no clear sign, but that does not mean I am not at work. Authority does not depend on your shifting emotions, but on the promise I have given. Stand firm upon that promise. When you feel nothing, remember the times I rescued you before. When the darkness seems thick, remember that light is always present. When the voices of doubt echo, repeat the truth that I am with you. This is how you remain in authority, not by relying on changing emotions, but by holding fast to unchanging truth. My child, I also want you to recognize another dimension. Spiritual authority is not given merely so you may protect yourself, but so that you may bring freedom to others. Many people live in bondage, yet they do not know how to cry out. There are families drowning in division, yet no one stands to intercede. There are souls crying in silence, needing someone brave enough to declare life over them. You may be that person. You may be the bridge that brings light into dark places. You may be the hand I use to touch a broken heart. Do not think this responsibility too great, for you do not act in your own strength. It is the Holy Spirit who will guide you, who will give you words, who will empower you. All you must do is be willing, and I will do the rest. My child, do not be surprised when the enemy seeks to strike back. When you begin to proclaim the truth, when you rise up in authority, it will resist you. But do not be afraid. Its opposition is not a sign of failure, but proof that you are on the right path. It reacts only when its territory is threatened. So when you see the turmoil, rejoice, for it means you are making a real impact. Do not let counterattacks discourage you. Stand firm, for I have given you the weapons to overcome. The enemy may roar loudly, but it cannot defeat one who stands in my name. My child, let authority become your way of life. As you step into society, let your light shine through your conduct. As you speak with others, let your words carry healing. As you work, let your faithfulness reflect righteousness. This too is part of authority, not only in prayer, but in the daily actions of life. A person who lives true to their faith is the strongest testimony of all. You do not always need many words. Your life itself will become an open book for others to read. And when they see steadfastness, peace, and courage in you, they will know these do not come from you, but from the one who dwells within you. My child, I want you to remember that spiritual authority is not given for you to become proud, but so that you may live in greater humility. You do not use it to boast, but to serve. You do not hold it to impose, but to uplift. You are not the center, I am the center. When you walk in humility, your authority grows firm. When you know how to place me at the center, your light shines ever brighter. Be careful, do not let pride slip in, for it can open the door to the enemy. But when you keep a tender heart, knowing that everything comes from me, you will become a pure vessel through which my presence flows. My child, this is the time for you to walk not only as one who is protected, but as one who carries protection for others. This is the time for you not only to keep the light for yourself, but to bring that light outward. This is the hour for you to become a lighthouse, guiding the souls drifting upon the sea. Do not fear, do not shrink back. You have been prepared, you have been equipped, you have been anointed. Walk in the authority I have given you, and you will see that no darkness can bind you, and no power can hinder you. My beloved, many believe that power and miracles are the ultimate destination, but in truth, the destination is a heart wholly belonging to me. You may speak words of power, you may witness signs and wonders, but if the heart is not surrendered, you have not entered into fullness. I do not only seek lips that declare, I seek a heart willing to place everything on the altar. And my child, it is in that surrender that you will encounter a great transformation, a transformation that nothing in this world can bring. My dear one, I know that sacrifice is not easy. Your body longs for comfort, your soul craves safety, your mind desires control. Yet I invite you to step onto the narrow path, the path that few choose but which leads to abundant life. It is the path of laying aside what hinders, releasing what is unnecessary, and accepting loss in order to gain the true treasure. Remember this: unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. So it is with your life. Only when you lay it down at my feet can I use it to bear fruit beyond imagination. Do not fear loss, for I do not take away to leave you empty. I take away to replace with what is better, greater, and everlasting. My child, the sacrifice I speak of is not only the offering of material things, but also the surrender of your will, your ambitions, and even the things you still hold tightly in your heart. You may think you have given me everything, yet there remain corners you have not opened. Dreams you wish to keep for yourself. Relationships you know are unhealthy but still cling to. Habits that seem harmless but in truth weaken your soul. I do not desire for you to live with a divided heart. I long for you to have a whole heart, for only when you give all can I fill all. Do not fear that I will leave you empty. On the contrary, when you let go, you will feel my hand lifting you up, and you will experience a joy far greater than the fleeting pleasures the world offers. Look back at the history of faith. Everyone I used in powerful ways had to walk the path of sacrifice. Abraham had to be willing to offer Isaac. Moses forsook the splendor of Egypt to lead my people. David spent years in caves before becoming king. Even my beloved son himself, he left his glorious throne to endure the cross. No one enters into a great calling without passing through the way of sacrifice. You as well, my child. If you wish to see the fullness of glory, you must be willing to place everything upon the altar. Sacrifice is never in vain. Every tear, every letting go, every quiet surrender rises as a sweet fragrance before my throne. My child, I know you fear that sacrifice will leave an emptiness, but I want you to trust that the emptiness will quickly be filled with my very presence. When you release an unhealthy relationship, I will bring true friendship. When you lay down a harmful habit, I will give you real freedom. When you surrender your personal dreams, I will open the doors of a greater mission. You will never lose out when you live a life of surrender. On the contrary, you will become richer in ways that money cannot buy, fame cannot grant, and power cannot preserve. My child, every sacrifice in me always leads to lasting blessing. I also want you to know that devotion is not a single act but an ongoing process. Each day you will need to ask yourself, what am I being called to surrender today? Am I willing to give up what I still want to hold on to? Offering yourself is a rhythm of life, like breathing in and out. It is not only in special moments but also in the smallest daily choices, and it is in those small things that you will experience freedom. When you refuse bitterness and choose forgiveness, you are offering yourself. When you pass up a chance to compromise in order to keep your heart pure, you are offering yourself. When you choose to serve instead of seeking your own glory, you are offering yourself. These are quiet sacrifices, but in my eyes they shine with radiant brilliance. My child, understand that sacrifice does not diminish your worth. It makes you more like me. When you surrender, you are walking the very path my son once walked. He gave up everything to bring life to many. And as you follow in his footsteps, you become a living witness of transforming love. Others will see the difference in you. They will see a heart no longer bound by selfish ambition, but guided by love. They will see a person who no longer lives only for themselves, but for a greater purpose. And it is that very difference that will touch them deeply, stirring within them a longing for true freedom. Therefore, my child, I call you to step into a new stage of your journey, the stage of sacrifice and surrender. Do not be afraid, do not draw back. Trust that everything you place in my hands will become seed for a great harvest. Remember that the altar is not a place of death, but the beginning of new life. When you lay your life upon it, you will see me do what exceeds all expectation. You will see blessings overflow not only upon you, but also upon your family, your community, and generations to come. My child, give yourself wholly, for in that surrender you will discover your true self, the very one I designed you to be from the beginning. My child, as you walk the path of sacrifice, you will begin to see a sacred principle. Surrender always leads to replacement. I never take anything away just to leave you empty. When I call you to release a harmful relationship, I am preparing faithful companions for you. When I urge you to let go of a habit that damages your soul, I replace it with a healthy practice that brings life. When I ask you to yield your personal ambitions, I open the door to a mission far greater. You never lose when you surrender, for my hand always fills. Yet only when you truly let go will you see my hand at work. Just as a farmer cannot cling to the seed in his palm and still expect a harvest, you cannot cling to the past and still receive a new future. Only when you sow will you reap. My child's sacrifice reveals another dimension. It sets you free from invisible chains. There are things you think you possess, but in truth, they possess you. There are matters you believe you control, yet in reality they control you. When I call you to let go, it is an invitation to freedom. Look at your own life. How many times have you feared losing something, only to realize that fear itself became the chain that bound you? How many times have you clung to something, only to find that the very act of holding on drained your strength? I long to cut those chains, and sacrifice is the key. When you release it, you are no longer mastered by it. When you place it in my hands, it ceases to be a burden, and when you are free, only then do you truly live. My child, true freedom does not come from having everything, but from no longer being bound by anything. Remember, this sacrifice is never forgotten. Every tear, every silent surrender, every difficult choice you have made is seen by me. They are like seeds sown into the earth, watered with tears and hidden in the dark. One day they will spring forth into a harvest of blessing. Perhaps you do not yet see it now, but trust that heaven is never silent in the face of sacrifice. Each time you say, "Lord, I place this into your hands," heaven trembles. Each time you choose to release instead of cling, darkness shudders. Each time you lay something down, I am preparing to lift you higher. Do not let the enemy deceive you into thinking sacrifice is meaningless. Believe that it is writing the story of a transformed life. My child, sacrifice does not make you poor. It makes you rich in ways the world cannot comprehend. The world believes happiness comes from having more, holding tighter, and gaining greater control. But my way is the opposite. True joy is found in giving and letting go and surrendering. You can see this in those who have walked the path of faith before you. They may not have possessed many riches, yet their lives overflowed with joy and peace. They may not have achieved great fame, yet their names are written in the book of life. They may not be remembered by the world, yet heaven knows them well. That is true. Wealth, abundance in love, in peace, in relationship with me. And my child, this is what I desire for you. My child, look upon my beloved son. He chose the path of sacrifice to the very end. He did not cling to heavenly glory, but humbled himself as a servant, even to the point of death on the cross. And it was through that sacrifice that salvation was brought to all nations. Without the cross, there would have been no resurrection. Without death, there would have been no victory over death. In the same way, in your own life, without surrender, there can be no true transformation. Without sacrifice, there can be no great harvest. I am not asking you to walk a path I have not walked myself. On the contrary, I invite you to follow in the footsteps of the one who has gone before you. And as you follow, you will see that sacrifice is not the end, but the beginning of new life. My child, surrender is also a mirror reflecting your faithfulness. When you are willing to place what is most precious on the altar, you are proving that your love for me is greater than anything else. That is true worship. Worship is not only a song, but putting me above all. Worship is not merely lifted hands, but a yielded heart. When you surrender, you are saying, "Lord, you are more important than everything." And my child, I will never turn away from that confession. Rather, I will pour out a presence so abundant that you cannot run dry. You will discover that in surrender you do not lose, but you are filled to overflowing. My child, do not see surrender as a burden, but as a privilege. You are not forced, but invited. You are not compelled, but chosen to walk with me. Every time you sacrifice, it is as if you are laying another brick in an eternal dwelling. One day, when you look back, you will see that your life was not wasted, but that you have built something everlasting. And the most beautiful part is this: what you surrender today will become a legacy for the generations to come. Your children will inherit blessings from the choices you make in surrender. Your family will be covered by your prayers of intercession. Your descendants will walk on the path you have opened through faithful sacrifice. My child, your surrender is not only for the present, it stretches forward into the future. Therefore, my child, do not hesitate any longer. If I call you to let go, then release it at once. If I show you something that must be offered, then offer it immediately. Do not delay, for delay is the very foothold of the enemy. Be strong, for I am with you. Be courageous, for the reward awaiting you is greater than you imagine. Step into surrender as though you were stepping through a door that opens into new life. And when you do, you will experience true freedom, unshakable peace, and complete joy. My child, remember this: no sacrifice in me is ever wasted. Every offering becomes a seed for an abundant harvest, and you will see blessings overflow not only for yourself, but also for many around you. My child, when you have entered the path of sacrifice and surrender, you will begin to realize that your life no longer belongs to yourself alone. Every tear you shed, every prayer you lift, every decision you release becomes a seed sown into the spiritual field. And that field, my child, does not bear fruit for you alone, but for many others as well. Those you have never met will be touched by your faithfulness. Generations to come will benefit from the quiet choices you make today. Your sacrifice is not simply writing your personal story, it is inscribing a vital chapter in the greater picture of my kingdom. So never think that your surrender affects only you. Its reach is far wider than you imagine, touching souls you may never know. My child, I want you to see more clearly the multiplying power of surrender. When one candle is lit, it can kindle another without losing its own flame. So it is with human hearts. When you are willing to give, the fire within you does not fade. It burns all the brighter. Each time you choose love over selfishness, the light within you flares. Each time you choose forgiveness instead of holding on to resentment, that light spreads. Each time you choose to serve rather than seek glory for yourself, that light shines into places of deep darkness. My child, understand this: sacrifice is the way I amplify your influence. What you give does not vanish. It becomes a stream of light extending outward to ignite countless other candles in the night. My child, do not be troubled when the world does not see your offering. Many times you have sacrificed without recognition. Many times you have chosen to put me first, yet no one noticed. Many times you have let go in silence and there was no applause. But my child, I see it all. I inscribe every detail. And I reward not according to the number of witnesses, but according to the sincerity of your heart. The world may forget, but heaven never overlooks. A small act of devotion in the eyes of others can become a mighty wave in the spiritual realm. Therefore, remain faithful, even when no one acknowledges you. Remember, you do not give to be praised by people, but to bring me delight. And when I am pleased, blessings will pour out without limit. My child, your offering never leaves you in loss, but always leads you into fullness. Each time you lay something down, I open something greater for you. Each time you close an old door, I open a new one. Each time you are willing to say yes in sacrifice, you step closer to the purpose I have set for you. My child, believe this: the altar of sacrifice is not the end, but the beginning. It is at the altar that I perform miracles. It is at the altar that I bring transformation. It is at the altar that you find new life. Do not fear when I call you to step upon the altar. Do not hesitate when I invite you to lay something down. Remember, you will never give more than what I can return. You will never pour out more than what I can bestow. You never truly lose anything in me, rather you discover more of your true self. My child, remember that your offering speaks louder than any sermon. Others may not hear your words, but they will see how you live. They will see your steadfastness in trials, and that will convince them that I am real. They will see your peace in the storm, and that will stir in them a longing for me. They will see your joy even when your hands are empty, and that will make them understand that true joy does not come from the world. My child, your devotion will become a living message, reaching places that words cannot touch. And this is why I call you to be faithful, because you do not live for yourself alone, but as a testimony for many. So, my child, continue walking in sacrifice and dedication, not with sorrowful resignation, but with joy. Do not see it as a burden, but as an honor. Do not think that you are losing something, but understand that you are investing in eternity. Do not let the enemy deceive you into thinking you are being shortchanged, for the reward awaiting you is far greater than you imagine. Look beyond the present moment. Look toward the harvest that is coming. Look at the legacy being built. Look at the transformation I am accomplishing in you and through you. And when you can see that greater picture, you will realize that every sacrifice is worth it, every surrender holds value, and every offering carries eternal meaning. My child, be strong. Continue placing yourself on the altar not just once, but daily. Let surrender become your rhythm like the breath of your soul. Let every decision reflect submission. Let every choice you make bring honor to me. And when you live this way, you will discover that nothing can hinder you from stepping into fullness. My child, I promise you this sacrifice will be turned into victory. Surrender will yield a harvest, and dedication will become a lasting legacy. This is the foundation upon which you will enter the next chapter of your journey, where you will not only experience transformation for yourself, but become a vessel of transformation for many others. My child, I want you to grasp this profound truth. No sacrifice made in me ever ends in loss. Every act of offering, every tear, every moment you choose to let go in obedience, these are seeds sown for a harvest of restoration. Remember my promise. Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. My child, not one of your tears has been shed in vain. They have soaked the earth, mingled with your prayers, and are now sprouting in the unseen realm. Restoration is drawing near, and it will not look like what you expect. I will not merely return what was lost. I will renew, upgrade, and transform it into something far more glorious. You will not return to how things were, for what I have prepared for you surpasses all you once had. My child, restoration is not merely the return of what was stolen, but the gift of a new identity. You have walked through days of disappointment, feeling left behind, feeling as though the wounds might never heal. But now I declare to you, you will no longer be defined by your losses. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a victor in me. The scars upon your life are no longer the marks of failure, but the testimony of survival. They will become a witness so that when others look upon you, they will see my strength. It is in your weakness that my power is made manifest. It is in your brokenness that my restoration is revealed. My child, you will no longer see yourself as one who has lost, but as one who has found something new, something eternal. My beloved, I know there are places in your life that have seemed as though they have died, dreams buried, faith, shaken relationships, seemingly beyond repair. But I want you to know I am the one who brings the dead things back to life. Just as Ezekiel once looked upon a valley of dry bones where hope appeared lost, yet when my word was spoken, the bones came together and rose as a mighty army. My child, whatever has withered in your life, let me breathe new life into it. Let me touch the places you believed could never change. Let me revive the dreams I planted in you from the very beginning. There is nothing too old, too broken, or too far gone that I cannot restore. When you place it in my hands, what looked like the end will become a new beginning. My child, my restoration is unlike what man can offer. Man can only patch and compensate in part, but my restoration makes all things new. You will not receive the old in its former shape. You will receive something new in a glorious form. Just as Job, after experiencing unimaginable loss, received double what he had before, so too will I not only restore but multiply. Likewise, my child, I do not merely want you to rise, I want you to walk in a wholeness you have never known. I do not simply want you to wipe your tears, I want you to smile with overwhelming joy. I do not only desire your healing, I desire that you become a bearer of healing to others. This is the blessing of restoration. It does not end with you, it overflows and brings life to many others. My child, remember this. Restoration does not happen in an instant, it is a journey. It begins the moment you choose to place your trust in me, and it continues each day as you walk in obedience. Every morning you wake up and choose to believe that I am still at work, that is part of the restoration. Every time you forgive yourself and others, that too is part of the restoration. Every time you choose to look forward instead of being held back by the past, you are stepping deeper into restoration. Be patient, for the restoration I give is not merely a surface repair. It is a rebuilding from the roots. I desire not just your healing, but your complete wholeness. Not just that you rise, but that you rise in strength. Not just that you survive, but that you thrive in a new life. My child, do not fear if you cannot yet see the full picture. My restoration is like the dawn. It begins with a faint light, and slowly it spreads until the entire sky is ablaze. You may not see it all at once, but pay attention to the small signs: an unexpected open door, a timely word of encouragement, a spark of joy returning to your heart. These are the first rays that announce the sunrise. Do not disregard them. They are proof that the sun is already rising and nothing can stop the light from breaking through. Hold on to this hope, for restoration has begun and it will come to completion. My child, I want you to remember this truth. Restoration is not just for you, it is for your family, your community, and your generation. When I restore you, I am also restoring those connected to you. As you rise, others are inspired to rise as well. As you walk in healing, you become a vessel through which healing flows to others. See your restoration not only as a personal gift, but as an invitation to become a witness. Share what I am doing in you, so that others may also find hope. Do not keep it to yourself, for your story carries the power to set others free. You are restored not just to live, but to live and testify of my power. So now, my child, lift up your head. Look ahead with faith. Walk forward with the confidence that every sacrifice has laid the foundation for a great restoration. Rejoice, for I have turned what was meant for evil into good. Stand firm, for I have turned your tears into laughter. Be courageous, for I have transformed ashes into glory. My child, embrace the restoration that is unfolding. Not only will it transform you, but it will also transform the world around you. This is not the end, it is a new beginning. A beginning of a life lived in freedom, in joy, and in the fullness I have destined for you from the very start. My child, I want you to know that the restoration I give is not merely about returning what was lost. It is about restoring your true identity in me. There have been many times when you allowed wounds, failures, and the words of others to define who you are. You have seen yourself through the lens of your past, through pain, through rejection. But my child, I do not see you that way. I see you through the finished work on the cross. You are no longer the wounded one, you are the healed. You are no longer the defeated, you are the victorious. You are no longer the abandoned, you are the chosen. True restoration begins when you change the way you see yourself, not through the old labels, but through the new name I have given you. And when you live in that new identity, darkness will no longer have the power to define your life. My child, restoration also means that I open your eyes to see a new vision. In the past, all you could see were the limits of your circumstances, the walls standing in front of you. But when I restore, you will begin to see the doors I have opened. You will see that failure was not the end, but a launching pad into something new. You will see that the tears you've sown were not in vain, but seeds for a coming harvest. You will see that every trial has been a classroom to prepare you for a greater mission. When your eyes are opened, you will realize that life is not a sequence of losses, but a journey of divine guidance. And from the place of despair, you will step into hope. From the fog of uncertainty, you will see the light that leads the way. My child, restoration does not stop at helping you rise again. It brings you back to the mission that was once interrupted. There were moments when you gave up, thinking you no longer had the strength to continue, that you were no longer worthy to be entrusted with anything. But my child, I have never withdrawn my calling over your life. You may have stopped, but the calling remains. You may have stumbled, but the mission was never lost. And now I restore you, not just for comfort, but so you may continue the path I have set for you. You were not created to live a life of resignation, but to walk in a great purpose. The restoration I give returns you to your rightful place, not as someone who mourns the past, but as a warrior refined by the very wounds you have endured. My child, I know that you have often blamed yourself, thinking that wrong choices have destroyed your future. But remember, I am the one who turns ashes into glory. I do not merely heal, I use those very mistakes as the raw material for your mission. A wounded person carries the capacity to understand and comfort broken hearts. One who has stumbled can help others avoid the same missteps. One who has felt abandoned can become a beacon of encouragement for the lonely. My child, restoration not only strengthens you, it makes you useful. I turn what was meant for harm into something good. I transform wounds into testimonies, failures into tools to reach others. My child, restoration reveals a profound truth. You are not limited by what your eyes can see, because I work far beyond what you can imagine. You may think the door has closed, but I hold the key to open it. You may feel the fire inside you has gone out, but I can breathe life into it again until it burns bright. You may believe it is too late, but I am the one who makes all things new at any moment in time. Remember, I am not bound by time, age, or circumstance. When I restore, I can make up for what seemed lost over years in a single moment. Believe this: what you thought was the end may in fact be the beginning. When I speak a word, everything changes. My child, understand that restoration is not only a gift, it is also a responsibility. When I heal you, I desire that you use your healing to lift others up. When I restore you, I call you to be an instrument of restoration. When I renew you, I long for you to become a source of inspiration so that others may find hope. Remember, restoration is not something you are to keep to yourself, but something to share. When you open your mouth to testify, you open a door for others to step into their own restoration. Do not be afraid to share your story, for the very things you once felt ashamed of may become the bridge that leads someone else to salvation. My child, I want you to walk with the confidence that restoration has already begun within you. Do not let the past bind you, and do not allow the present to fill you with doubt. Live as one who has already been restored, even if you have yet to see the full results. Praise me before the miracle is complete. Rejoice even as you wait. Walk as though you have already received what you prayed for, because such faith is the doorway to a quicker restoration. My child, I declare that you will witness change not because you are worthy, but because I am faithful. You will witness restoration not because you are strong enough, but because I am powerful. You will experience new life because I am the one who makes all things new. My child, the restoration I am doing in you does not stop at healing old wounds, it reshapes your entire life. I do not simply want you to recover so you can keep going. I want you to move forward with new strength, a renewed vision, and fresh courage. What I am doing in you is not a temporary fix, but a full renewal. I make the old new again, turn brokenness into glory, and transform loss into a foundation for a season of abundance. When you are restored, you will not return to who you were. You will become a new person carrying within you the mark of transformation. And that very mark will be a living testimony of my power. My beloved child, I know there have been many times when you believed that your life could only be summed up in one word: acceptance. Acceptance that what was lost can never be regained. Acceptance that the wounds will always leave scars. Acceptance that joy exists only in memories. But my child, I did not come so that you would live in resignation, but so that you would walk in the acceptance that is rooted in faith. Accept that I can transform everything. Accept that even the worst can become the best. Accept that your life is not defined by darkness but by light. When you embrace this truth, restoration will no longer be just a promise. It will become a living reality in every step you take. My child, my restoration carries a deeper dimension. It is the peace that no circumstance can take away. This peace does not depend on how much money you have, on the praises you receive, or on outward success. This peace comes from the certainty that you are held by me. Even when the storm still rages, this peace stands firm. Even when answers are not yet seen, this peace covers you. Even when you do not understand the path ahead, this peace steadies your heart. This is the greatest blessing of restoration. You no longer live in fear, but in trust. You no longer flee from the darkness, but stand firm in the light. And my child, when this peace takes hold, you will walk differently, not driven by anxiety, but guided by conviction. My child, the restoration I give will also bring new joy. This joy is not shallow laughter or fleeting moments, but a stream flowing from the depths of your soul. It is a joy that no one can take away, for it is not rooted in circumstances, but in my presence. There was a time when you believed joy was meant for others, that your heart was too heavy to ever laugh again. But my child, I declare to you, I will turn mourning into dancing. I will transform your weeping into songs. You will laugh not because everything is perfect, but because you know I hold all things together. You will sing not because you are spared from trials, but because even in the midst of them I am with you. And when this joy overflows, it will become the strength that carries you forward and spreads outward to heal others. Remember, my child, restoration is never just for you. It is always meant to overflow. When you are healed, you become a vessel of healing. When you are restored, you become an instrument of restoration. When you are renewed, you become a witness to renewal. You will see your family change because of the change in you. You will see those around you encouraged by the way you live. You will see your life story become a beacon of light for those still drifting in darkness. My child, your restoration is a gift I give not only to you, but to many others through you. Live as a testimony, for your very life will speak louder than any sermon. My child, I want you to step into this new season with confidence. Not a confidence rooted in your own abilities, but one grounded in my faithfulness. Not a confidence based on your perfection, but on the truth that I am perfecting you day by day. When you look back, you'll see that you are no longer who you once were, trembling, doubtful, bound by your past. You are now a new person, steadfast, strong, full of hope. You no longer fear the return of the darkness, for the light within you has grown stronger. You no longer worry that you will break again, for your roots now run deep in my love. And my child, it is this very transformation that will make it undeniable to others that I am real. So rejoice in your restoration, my child. Be grateful for every tear, for they have become seeds. Be grateful for every wound, for they have become testimonies. Be grateful for every loss, for they have become stepping stones toward increase. Let your heart overflow with thanksgiving, for restoration is not just a part of the journey, it is a sign that I am doing something new. Prepare yourself, for this new thing will not stop with you. It will ripple out and touch many others. Step forward, for the door is opening before you. Lift up your head, for I have restored you, not just so you may stand, but so that you may walk boldly into a new mission. The mission of bringing that same restoration to a world that is longing for hope. My child, the restoration I have given you is not meant to leave you in comfort, but to equip you for a greater calling. I did not heal you so that you could live a life of complacency. I healed you so that you might rise, carrying within you the story of transformation, and become a witness to those who are searching for hope. From now on, every step you take is no longer just for you, it is for the many others who will find light through you. I have placed within you a calling, one not given by man, but ordained by me, the Creator, before you were even formed. And now that restoration is complete, it is time for you to step out and fully live in that purpose. My child, do not think that your calling is small. Do not compare yourself to others and conclude that there is nothing special about you. I have given each person a unique task, and the portion you carry is one of a kind. You may not be called to stand before thousands, but you are called to plant seeds in the hearts of those close to you. You may not be called to write grand chapters in history, but you are called to craft quiet stories that echo into eternity. In my eyes, beloved child, there is no such thing as an insignificant calling. Anything done in love and obedience carries eternal worth, so do not underestimate the role you play. You are a vital link in the greater picture I am painting. To live out your calling fully, you must learn to walk in daily obedience. Calling is not some distant destination. It is the path you are walking right now. Every choice, every decision, every word you speak shapes this journey. When you choose faithfulness in the small things, you are being prepared for the greater ones. When you choose integrity in trials, you are building the character I trust with more. When you choose to love even when it is hard, you are living at the very heart of your mission. So, my child, do not wait for some grand moment to begin. Your calling has already begun the moment you decide to live according to my will today. My child, remember this. Your calling is not a burden, it is a privilege. It is not a chain of obligations forced upon you, but an opportunity to partner with me in an eternal work. There may be days when you feel weary, but it is in those very days that you will experience my cooperation most clearly. There may be moments when you feel weak, but it is in those moments that my strength will be made perfect in your weakness. My child, view your calling as a journey with me, not a journey you walk alone. When you take a step, I walk with you. When you speak, I place words upon your lips. When you act, I empower you. And when you fall, I lift you up again. This is my assurance to you. You are never alone in the mission entrusted to you. My child, part of your calling is to be a light in dark places. The world around you is full of silent cries, broken hearts, and weary souls. Many are living as though dead because they have no hope. But I have chosen you to be an answer to them, not because you are perfect, but because you have been restored. Your story will become a lamp to guide others. The transformation within you will testify that I am real. You don't need to preach extensively for your life. Itself is a message. Let the peace you carry be the evidence. Let the joy within you be the illustration. Let your way of forgiving, loving, and remaining steadfast be a living sermon. And through this, my child, many will find me. My child, I want you to understand that the calling will not always be easy. There will be times of opposition. There will be people who misunderstand you. Some may even mock or resist you. But do not let these things deter you. Remember, I too was rejected. The apostles were persecuted, yet the gospel continued to spread. When you stand firm in your calling, opposition becomes proof that you are on the right path. Do not seek the world's approval. Seek my smile. Do not let the gaze of others shake you. Let my word anchor your soul. And my child, believe this: any sacrifice you make for the sake of your calling will be rewarded many times over in this life and the life to come. My child, also know this: your calling is not only about what you do, it is about who you become. I do not merely call you to accomplish tasks for me, but to live as my child. Your presence, your attitude, your way of loving, these are all part of the mission. Do not think you need a title or special position to be walking in your calling. Even when you are simply caring for your family, even when you speak a kind word, even when you show patience to someone difficult, if done in love and obedience, you are living out the call. My child, remember, your calling is not only about reaching the destination, but about every step along the way. So, my child, rise and walk forward with renewed faith. Do not look back at the past, for it no longer holds the power to define you. Do not worry about the future, for it rests in my hands. Fix your eyes on today, on every decision, every step, every word, and let them reflect my light. Live with an open heart, ready to love, to forgive, to encourage, and to sow hope. For when you do, you not only walk in your calling, but also become my extended hands on this earth. And my child, I promise you this: when you remain faithful in your mission, you will experience a joy that surpasses every hardship, a fulfillment deeper than any temporary reward, and a glory that will never fade. My child, now that you have stepped into your calling, know this: it is not merely about beginning well, but about remaining steadfast to the end. Many start strong only to falter when trials arise. Many are full of zeal at first, but grow cold when the path stretches long. My child, the calling is not a sprint, it is a long journey. It demands daily faithfulness, not just a moment of brilliance. You don't need to always do great things, but you must be consistent in the small steps. That perseverance is what forms true strength. And my child, I say to you, faithfulness in the little things will open great doors you have never imagined. To sustain your mission, my child, you must build upon the foundation of deep intimacy with me. Do not let working for me replace walking with me. Do not let your service become an excuse to neglect worship. Many have burned out not because the mission was too heavy, but because they forgot the only true source of strength, my presence. My child, you can accomplish many things, but if you do not sit at my feet, your soul will dry out. Do not think prayer is merely the beginning, for prayer is the very breath of the journey. Do not underestimate the still moments, for it is in the silence that I reveal my deepest will for you. When you place me at the center, you will never lose your way, no matter how long or difficult the road may be. My child, remember this. In your mission, there will always be trials that come to test your faithfulness. They may take the form of opposition from the outside. They may come as doubt from those closest to you. They may arise as weariness from within your own heart. But do not be afraid, my child. These trials are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to refine you. They are like fire that purifies gold, making your faith more genuine and pure. They are like the wind that fills your sails, pushing you forward on your journey. Every challenge is an opportunity to demonstrate that your love for me is true. Do not think that opposition means I have abandoned you. On the contrary, it is a sign that you are on the right path, a path that causes the enemy to tremble at your progress. My child, to remain steadfast in your mission, you must learn to recognize my voice amidst the noise of the world. There will be times when the world will try to draw you away, offering ease, comfort, or recognition. But the true mission is not always celebrated by men. Be cautious. Do not let applause distract you, nor let criticism make you retreat. Learn to be still before the clamor of the world and listen for my whisper. My voice is not always loud, but it is always clear to the heart that truly seeks. When you cling to my word, you will stand firm even when everything around you shifts and changes. My child, your mission is not sustained by strength alone, but also by humility. When you remember that everything you have comes from me, your heart will remain tender. When you seek no glory for yourself, your spirit will stay pure. When I am at the center of your purpose, the light you carry will never fade. Guard yourself against the lure of pride, for pride is the doorway to downfall. Remember this: the more you are given, the more you are called to serve. The higher you are lifted, the deeper you must bow. And when you walk in humility, I will continue to raise you up so that your light may shine ever farther. My child, the mission also calls you to rest in me. Do not think that rest is weakness. Resting in me is a way of recharging your strength. Even the mightiest warrior needs time to recover. Even the land requires a season of rest to prepare for a new harvest. When you pause to sit with me, you are not falling behind. You are being prepared to go further. Do not try to carry everything with your own strength, for the mission was never meant to be fulfilled alone. I want you to know that true strength is not found in how hard you strive, but in how deeply you rely on me. My child, surround yourself with companions. You were not called to walk this journey alone. Even the strongest need fellow travelers to uplift, encourage, and pray with them. Seek those who share your faith and passion and walk together. Share joy, bear burdens, and move forward side by side. When you have companions, you will not easily fall. And when you lift others up, you too will be lifted. My child, unity in the Spirit is a power that cannot be broken, and it will sustain you in your mission to the very end. So, my child, be steadfast. Do not chase after haste, pursue faithfulness. Do not long for instant results, trust the process. Do not fear the long journey, for I walk with you every step of the way. Remember, the mission is not some far-off destination, but the daily choice to remain faithful. And as you remain faithful, you will see fruit begin to blossom not only in your life, but in the lives of many others. My child, do not give up, for the reward awaiting you is far greater than you imagine. Keep walking, for every step holds eternal significance. My child, as you faithfully walk in your mission, you will begin to see the fruit clearly. I want you to know that every effort in me bears fruit, even if not in the immediate way you expect. The seeds you sow in silence will bloom in the day I have appointed. The prayers you offer in stillness will become life to a soul in need. The good deeds you do in secret will echo in eternity. My child, I say to you, you do not need to measure success by human standards. Do not compare your outcomes to others, for each has their own task. You only need to be faithful to the portion I've given you. The increase belongs to me. And I promise your harvest will come at the right time in abundance, overflowing. My child, one sign that you are walking in your true calling is that transformation begins to take place not only within you, but also in those around you. Others will notice a difference in your words, your gaze, and your actions. They will sense the peace you carry. They will find hope through your story. and that very hope will stir within them a longing to step into true life. Remember, my child, sometimes the way you live is the most powerful sermon. No need for many words. Your consistency, sincerity, and love will speak straight to the hearts of others. Let your life become a mirror that reflects my light so that many may see that restoration is real and that the calling of one person can transform the small world around them. My child, do not be surprised when your mission leads you to places you never imagined. I can open doors you never thought possible. I can connect you with people you've never met. I can place you in situations where you may feel unqualified, but it is precisely there that my strength will be revealed. Be ready for unexpected turns, for your mission will not always follow your plan, but it will always follow mine. Walk forward with an open heart and a willingness to obey, because when you allow me to lead, your life will become a wondrous adventure. Do not be afraid, for you never walk alone. I go before you, I walk beside you, and I am behind you, my child. There will be moments in your mission when you feel small in the face of the world's great needs. You may wonder, are the things I do enough? Will my faithfulness make any difference? But I want you to remember, the ocean is made of drops of water. A single ray of light can drive away the darkness in a room. A tiny seed can grow into a great tree that gives shade to many. Do not despise the small things. Do not think what you're doing is meaningless. In my hands, even the smallest act can become something great. You only need to give it to me, and I will use it as a tool to touch many souls. My child, I want you to know that your mission does not merely exist within this lifetime, it echoes into eternity. Everything you do in love is remembered in heaven. A word of encouragement, a kind deed, a quiet sacrifice, all are recorded in the book of life. And one day when you stand before me, you will see the whole picture, how the smallest things you did touched countless lives, how the prayers you lifted changed destinies, and how the tears you shed brought souls into the kingdom. My child, that day you will understand there was not a single moment lived in your mission that was in vain. Every second carries eternal value. Beloved child, I call you to walk in joy as you fulfill your mission. Do not let it become a burden, but see it as an honor. Let gratitude fill every step you take, for not everyone is called, but I have chosen you. Do not serve with reluctance, but with a fervent heart. Do not act to gain recognition from people, but to bring joy to me. When you guard your heart in purity, you will find that your mission flows naturally, not as pressure. You will move forward not out of obligation, but because you are loved. You will press on not to prove something, but in response to grace. And in that posture, my child, you will find fullness of joy. So then, my child, be steadfast in the mission I have entrusted to you. Keep sowing even when you see no fruit. Keep praying even when the miracle hasn't come. Keep loving even when it goes unnoticed. For I declare the harvest will surely come. You will reap with joy, you will sing in triumph, and you will witness blessings poured out in abundance. And in that moment you will know that no act of faithfulness was wasted, no sacrifice was in vain, and no step taken in mission was meaningless. My child, walk boldly, for this mission is not only transforming you, but transforming the world through you. My child, now that you have walked through restoration and are standing firm in your calling, I desire to lead you into a new season, a season of spreading forth. For light is not made to be hidden under a bowl, but to be placed on a stand where it gives light to the whole house. In the same way, your life has not been transformed for you to keep it to yourself. You are called to be a lamp in the darkness, a living testimony for many others. My child, this spreading forth is not the result of natural effort, but the inevitable outcome when the fire within you truly burns. When you allow me to ignite that fire, it will automatically radiate into every place you set foot. You will become an instrument through which I expand my kingdom on earth, not by human power, but by the strength of the Holy Spirit. Beloved, I want you to understand that spreading forth begins with the small and faithful things. A quiet, intercessory prayer for your neighbor may open the door for them to find me. A simple act of kindness to a stranger can sow the seed of faith in their heart. A word of encouragement at the right moment can pull someone back from the edge of despair into hope. Do not wait for grand opportunities before you believe you are making an impact. Spreading forth begins in your daily life through the way you live, speak, behave, and respond to challenges. When you are faithful to live authentically in the smallest details, my presence will flow through you. Others will see that light, and they will not be able to deny it. My child, this spreading forth is not meant to stop with one individual. It can ripple into an entire community. When one flame is kindled, it can ignite many others. You may think your actions only affect a few people, but remember, this one transformed person can transform an entire family. A transformed family can impact a whole neighborhood. A transformed community can shift an entire city, and a transformed city can influence an entire nation. My child, do not underestimate the small flame within you. It has the potential to become a great fire that spreads far and wide. As you faithfully shine, I will use that very light to awaken many other flames, and a spiritual movement will arise. My child, influence does not come from striving, but from genuine love. People may resist reasoning, they may argue over knowledge, but they cannot deny love. When you love sincerely, others will feel it. When you forgive wholeheartedly, hearts will be moved. When you endure with patience in love, others will see me through you. My child, love is the most powerful force of influence. It breaks through all barriers, all walls, all divisions. And when you allow my love to flow through you, it will wash away all hatred, all bitterness, all separation. Let that love be the driving force behind all your actions, and influence will flow naturally, without effort, without striving. My child, remember that true influence does not come from your desire to stand out, but from your willingness to let me be glorified. Do not seek to make your name known, let my name be lifted high. Do not long for recognition, long for obedience. When you humble yourself, I will lift you up. When you make me the center, the light within you will shine ever brighter. True influence is not about display, but reflection. You are not the source of light. You are the mirror that reflects my light. And when your heart is pure, that mirror will shine clearly, and all will see me through you. My child, I want you to know that influence may be met with opposition. When light arises, darkness will try to extinguish it. When you stand for truth, some will mock, resist, even oppose you. But do not fear, for it is in the face of resistance that the light shines even brighter. Do not retreat in hardship. It is merely a sign that your influence is truly making an impact. Remember, darkness cannot overcome light, and even a single beam is enough to pierce the night. Be steadfast, for your perseverance will become living proof that light is greater than darkness. My child, I also want you to know that your influence is not always immediately measurable. You may plant a seed today and only see the harvest years later. You may speak a word and feel it has passed unnoticed, but it may take root in a heart at the appointed time. You may show an act of love that seems invisible, yet it may change someone's destiny. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the right time you will reap if you do not give up. Keep sowing, keep loving, keep serving, and I will take care of the rest. I promise you, nothing done in me is ever in vain. Every act carries eternal value. So, my child, let the restoration within you become a source of outpouring for the world. Let the light you have received not only shine within you, but radiate outward. Let your life's mission be more than just a personal journey. It must become a collective testimony. Let your life be the spark that ignites a spiritual movement, so that many may find hope, so that many families may be restored, and so that generations may be transformed. My child, I declare to you, this is the hour of eruption. This is the season in which light will spread faster than darkness. This is the moment when restoration will no longer remain within a single person, but will pour out to many, and from there, a spiritual wave will flood forth. My child, spiritual outpouring is not a flash of lightning that appears and then vanishes. It is a fire that must be sustained. That fire cannot burn long if it relies only on fleeting emotions or temporary zeal. It endures only when it is nourished by deep, intimate communion with me. You may observe many movements in the world. They begin with great strength, but eventually fade away because they are built on human strength and ideas. But my child, what I am doing through you is not of this world. It is founded on an eternal cornerstone. And if you remain rooted in me, that flame will never be extinguished. Do not fear its fading. Instead, focus on keeping your heart pure and faithful, for it is purity that becomes the oil which sustains the fire of outpouring. My child, the outpouring also requires unity. A single flame can shine, but many flames united become a torch bright enough to illuminate an entire region. I have not called you to walk this path alone. I have placed around you co-laborers, brothers and sisters in the same faith to support and complement one another. When you are connected, strength multiplies. One person may accomplish a part, but a united community can transform an entire generation. My child, do not close yourself off. Open your heart. Connect with those I have sent to walk beside you. Do not let division weaken your strength, for division is the strategy of darkness. Choose unity and love, for love is the most powerful language by which the world will recognize that I am real. My child, I want you to remember, this true influence does not come from the clever strategies of man, but from the movement of the Holy Spirit. You may prepare, plan, and organize, but without the anointing, all of it is merely empty labor. It is the Holy Spirit who turns words into life, actions into miracles, and the ordinary into the supernatural. My child, let him lead. Do not run ahead of him, and do not lag behind. Walk in step with him. When you are sensitive to the guidance of the Spirit, you will know when to speak, and when to be silent, when to act, and when to wait. It is that very sensitivity that ensures your influence never misses its mark, but always reaches the souls that are in need of transformation. My child, spiritual influence does not always unfold in noise and crowds. Often it happens in quietness and stillness. Do not think that you are only making an impact when you are standing before many. Even in small conversations, even when you are simply listening and interceding for someone, influence is at work. You may not see it immediately, but a quiet prayer can change the destiny of a person. A simple act of kindness can become a turning point for a desperate soul. My child, be faithful even in the unseen tasks, for it is there that true influence is nurtured and sustained. Light does not need to shout to shine. It only needs to remain faithful in illuminating where it has been placed. And my child, I want you to prepare your heart for the trials that come with influence. For the brighter the light, the more the darkness seeks to extinguish it. There will be voices of doubt, there will be resistance, there will be subtle traps, but do not lose heart. These very trials are proof that you are truly making an impact. Remember, it is the tree bearing fruit that is pelted with stones. It is the shining lamp that the wind seeks to blow out. Do not see opposition as your enemy, see it as confirmation that you are walking in the path I have ordained for you. I am with you, and no power can extinguish the flame I have lit within you. My child, spreading the light also requires you to keep your heart humble. Never let your influence become the reason for pride. Do not allow the light you carry to make you think you are above others. For the moment pride slips in, the flame begins to fade. Remember, the light you bear does not originate from you, it comes from me. You are but the vessel, I am the source. When your heart remains humble, the vessel will not crack and the light will shine forth in purity. And when others praise you, remember to return all the glory to me, for it is I who have done all these things. My child, I want you to remember one more thing. Spreading the light is not a destination, it is a continual journey. It does not end with one success, one miracle, or one testimony. It is a living stream that flows from you to others, and from them to many more. Let it become the rhythm of your life, not a single event. When you live this way, your influence will grow without ceasing. The seeds you sow today will continue to bear fruit for years to come, and even after you have left this world, the impact will echo through the generations. So my child, walk in this mission of spreading the light with steadfastness and humility. Let love be your motive, the Holy Spirit, your guide, unity, your strength and faithfulness, your foundation. Do not try to sustain the flame by your own strength. Let me be the one who fuels it. Do not worry about the reach or the results, for every increase comes from me. Simply be faithful and keep your heart pure, and that flame will never be extinguished. My child, the light I have kindled within you will not stop until it reaches every place I have purposed. And when that day comes, you will see that your life has become a part of a grand design, a plan to bring light into a world covered in darkness. My child, when you allow the light within you to shine forth, you will come to realize a profound truth. True influence does not lie in what you do loudly, but in what you steadfastly live out in silence. A person may preach with great eloquence, but if their life does not reflect the truth, their words will soon fade. On the other hand, one who lives each day with faithfulness, love, and humility, though never standing on a grand stage, can still move countless hearts. My child, true influence begins when you live what you believe, not merely speak what you believe. The world is not just listening for words, it is watching for evidence. And when they witness your unwavering consistency, one that remains unshaken by trials, they will recognize that my light is real. My child, the influence I call you to carry does not merely change the environment around you, it breaks invisible chains. There are those bound by fear, others consumed by bitterness, some trapped in despair. When you bring the light, chains will be broken. When you speak words of love, dividing walls will fall. When you pray in faith, invisible shackles will be loosed. My child, you are not merely stirring temporary emotions. You are part of a spiritual battle where light overcomes darkness, where life replaces death. Every act you do in love carries the power to bring freedom, not because you are strong, but because I am the one working through you. My dear one, influence never flows in only one direction. When you sow, you will also reap. When you give love, you yourself will be filled with even more love. When you encourage others, you too will be lifted. When you pour out time and strength to intercede, you will receive fresh renewal in your spirit. This is the secret of influence. The more you give, the more you receive. A river does not keep water for itself. It flows to bring life, and in flowing it is continually replenished. In the same way, my child, when you let the light flow through you, it will never run dry. On the contrary, you will find yourself increasingly full, for I am the source that never runs out. My child, I want you to know this impact is not always immediately visible. You may sow a prayer today and only see its fruit years later. You may speak a word of encouragement, and though the person may not change right away, that word remains in their heart, waiting for the day it will take root and grow. Do not be discouraged when you do not see instant results. Trust that a seed once planted in the soil must journey through the darkness before it can rise to the light. So it is with impact. It has its process, its timing, and its harvest. All I ask is that you sow faithfully, and I will cause it to flourish at the appointed time. My child, understand this as well. Your influence does not stop with one generation. What you do today leaves a mark on those who come after you. When you sow righteousness, you are paving the way for your children and their children to walk in the light. When you choose forgiveness over bitterness, you are breaking the chains that may have bound your family for generations. When you obey me, you are laying a firm foundation for the future. My child, remember, your influence does not merely touch the present, it will echo through generations. And one day you will see how your faithfulness today has become a legacy for your entire lineage. My child, I know there are moments when you feel small in this vast world, and you wonder if your light is enough to make a difference. But remember, light does not need to be great to still be light. A single candle can drive out darkness from a room. A single ray can signal the coming dawn. My child, the light in you does not originate from you, it comes from me, and because of that, it is never weak. Trust that even if your light shines on just one person, it holds eternal value. And if it touches many, it can transform an entire community. Do not despise small beginnings, for in my hands the small becomes great. My child, as you walk in the path of radiance, remember to maintain a humble and pure heart. Do not allow the results you see to inflate your pride, nor let opposition cause you to falter. Focus solely on faithfulness and obedience. Leave the increase to me, for growth does not come from your strength, but from my power. When you keep your heart pure, your radiance will know no bounds. When you remain humble, the light you carry will shine even brighter. And when you place all glory upon me, your radiance will become pure and enduring, far beyond what your imagination can grasp. Therefore, my child, continue to shine. Let that light illuminate the dark corners you encounter each day. Allow love to flow through your words, your actions, and even through the quiet choices no one sees. Believe that nothing you do in me is in vain. Live as a torch, and you will witness other torches igniting around you, forming a sea of light. And my child, from that very sea of light, I will bring about transformation for countless generations. This is not merely your story, but the story of a kingdom. The light you carry will become a part of an eternal plan, a plan in which darkness can never again overshadow this land. My child, the entire journey I have led you through was not only to help you understand theory, but to allow you to experience true transformation from darkness to light, from loss to restoration, from weakness to strength, and from a broken person to a living witness. What I do within you is not merely to heal or comfort, but to rebuild, empower, and lead you into a mission far greater than you ever imagined. Look back upon the path you have walked, and you will clearly see that every tear, every challenge, every sacrifice has not been in vain. They have become the stepping stones for you to enter wholeness. And now, my child, I invite you to step into a new phase, a phase in which the light you carry is no longer limited, but spreads to the farthest reaches, so that through you many may find hope, healing, and eternal life. My child, remember that this is not only your story, but the story of the kingdom. Everything I have done in you has an eternal purpose for you to become a part of my everlasting plan. You have learned to let go. You have experienced restoration. You have walked in your mission, and you have begun to shine forth light. Now I want you to engrave in your heart that everything you do will echo forever. Let your life become a legacy, a mark that future generations can continue. Let your story inspire those who are seeking a way forward. Let your words, your actions, and the way you live stand as proof that I am real, that restoration is possible, and that light can overcome darkness. My child, remain faithful for the day you meet me. You will hear my words. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a little, I will entrust you with much. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Now, my child, let your heart quiet down and step into the moment of prayer. Bring to me all that you have heard, learned, and experienced on this journey. Do not let these words merely pass through your ears. Let them become a heartfelt offering from within. Kneel spiritually, open your mouth, and let your prayer become the bridge between you and me. Remember, prayer is not a ritual, but an intimate conversation between a father and his child. I listen, I respond, and I delight when you draw near. O Lord God, I thank you for guiding me through every trial so that I may understand the value of sacrifice. I surrender to you all that I am holding, my joys and my sorrows, so that you alone may reign over my life. Teach me to release everything that hinders me, so that my heart may walk freely in your light. O Lord God, restore every broken part within me. Heal the wounds that I cannot mend on my own. Breathe new life into the dreams that have died, and raise me to stand with a renewed identity, not as a failure, but as your chosen child. O Lord God, strengthen my steps in the mission you have set before me. Grant me daily faithfulness, steadfastness in the face of trials, and humility to always acknowledge that all comes from you. Grant me courage to walk forward, and wisdom to discern your voice amidst all the noise. Lord, please let your light shine through me. May your love, forgiveness, and mercy flow through me, touching the souls that are weary and in need of comfort. May my life become a testimony not only through words but through actions and the way I live each day. Lord, I pray that my life may become an eternal legacy. May the deeds I do today serve as seeds for the generations to come. May my family, my community, and those I encounter receive blessings from my faithfulness. And please keep me steadfast in faith until the day I meet you, so that I may hear the words that I have been faithful. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so that together we can build a strong community of faith.